Should the government take over security at top AI training labs? Let's find out. We're talking about Leopold Aschenbrenner's Situational Awareness paper. He sees the breakout of artificial superintelligence, which is to say intelligence smarter than human, which then rapidly improves itself in a feedback loop and becomes a danger equivalent to the development of nuclear weapons. And for that reason, he says the government needs to take over security at AI labs. He also notes that China is engaging in espionage to obtain the model weights and the secret training techniques from top AI labs, and that these AI labs lack the security to protect their secrets against state actors, so the US government needs to step in. He's absolutely right, first off, about Chinese espionage. It's very real, it's very pervasive, and it's very effective. And also, the AI labs are ill-equipped to defend against it. However, I think the nuclear weapons analogy is bad for comparison to AI because nuclear weapons existed primarily as weapons technology initially, and then commercial use was restricted, whereas AI is fundamentally a commercial tool that also has military use. You can't get the economic benefits of AI without the military implications. If you build the AI that your companies can use, but that the military can't, then what happens is other countries will rapidly outstrip your military. So in that respect, AI is much more like advanced machine tools or synthetic biology. It's a fundamental technology that provides huge economic benefit, and it can be used to make weapons. And so the way we restrict those kinds of technology is usually to restrict the exports of the very top technology. And we saw that in the AI field with GPU exports to China. That doesn't prevent them from acquiring the capability, but it slows them down a little bit and keeps a lead. So another problem with the nuclear weapons analogy is that the history of nuclear weapons development argues against his approach. We used the highest levels of state security in nuclear weapons development, and we failed to secure the nuclear secrets against espionage. In fact, our allies and then our enemies very rapidly had the atomic weapon and then the hydrogen bomb, and that proliferation led to mutually assured destruction doctrine and detente. So ironically, the fact that there was more widespread distribution of these weapons then made them less likely to be used because the consequences were higher since other people had them too. So that kind of just goes against his argument. Then the other problem there is that he sees one AI model self-improving before others can react. But that requires that one AI model is far out in front and it can rapidly self-improve. There are now many top models. We're not in a breakout, we're in a horse race. In fact, we have open source models that are closing the gap. We have top models that are trading spots between different AI labs. So it's very much a horse race. The pace of development is very quick, and that means that top foundation models enjoy a relatively short lifespan. So instead, the AI labs have to compete on their processes and their capabilities, the talent, their data, their GPU pool. Those are the durable capabilities that require sustained effort and investment. It's also worth pointing out, by the way, that China has its own research on foundational models, and they're currently not far behind Western models. So while espionage is also a factor, it's sustained capability that wins you economic power. So he bases his model of control on the idea that there are a few actors, a few AI labs that need to spend enormous sums to train models. And as we've seen, AI labs are spending increasingly enormous sums to train models. However, we're also seeing at the same time wider proliferation of the tech. We're seeing more people train models, not fewer. And we're seeing the open source research communities who don't have access to these very high GPU pools instead coming up with other effective solutions to reduce the need for GPUs. So the mixture of experts model, mixture of agents, quantization, improving training data quality through the textbooks are all you need paper. So much more like that can be done. So those are techniques that either can be applied to training to reduce training time and allow smaller clusters, or obviate the need for training by instead shifting compute to inference. So if you build, for example, a mixture of agents model with several smaller open source models, they can perform comparably to a larger model that would be more expensive to train. So in summary, I would say that the AI landscape is not a winner-take-all race to seize the brass ring of artificial superintelligence after which you win. It is instead a sustained struggle for economic and technological leadership.